Good afternoon. I am Brother Isaiah Narvaez, and this is my project over history of Turkey music. The first slide, the beginning. The root of traditional music in Turkey spanned across centuries to a time when the Seljuk Turks, which is a major branch of the Oghuz Turks, migrated to Anatolia and Persia in the 11th century. Elements of both Turkey and pre-Turkey influences. Turkish folk music combine the distinct cultural values of all citizens that have lived in Turkey and its former territories. In Europe and Asia, its unique structure includes regional differences under one umbrella. Second slide, folk instruments. One of the major used instruments or very religious instrument is the saz. The saz is the most popular stringed instrument in Turkey. It originated in Central Asia where Turks lived before their westward migration. Although similar in shape to the Greek bauzik, the construction, size, and sound of the saz is very different. The second instrument that I chose is the Karadenis Kamensis. This is It is a bold Turkish folk instrument. Its body is made from mulberry, plum, and juniper woods. The wooden part of the bow, generally rosewood or boxwood, horsehair is tied to the ends of a bow. This can also be related to a violin. Next slide is Mazar Alinson. He was a famous guitarist, Turkish guitarist. He was born on February 13, 1950. Alinson, a Turkish musician and guitarist, was a member of the popular Turkish pop music MFO. He began to play the guitar in his high school years with some friends, later to join one of the best known pop bands. The picture, you can see him and MFO. The next slide is the military music. The Janissary band of Mahert Takim is considered to be the oldest type of military marching band in the world. Individual instrumentalists were mentioned in the Orhun inscriptions, which are believed to be the oldest written source of Turkish history, dating from the 8th century. However, they were not definitely mentioned as bands until the 13th century. The rest of Europe borrowed the notion of military marching band from Turkey from the 16th century onwards. And the rock that you see here, the picture of a rock is a scripture. Is basically where they wrote like history, and that's how we know today so much about the band that was very popular. My next slide is music industry in Turkey. The Turkish music industry includes a number of fields ranging from record companies to radio stations and community and state orchestras. Most of the major record companies are based on Istanbul's region of Ankapini, and they are represented by the Turkish Phonographic Industry Society. The major record companies produce material by artists that have signed to one of their record labels. A brand name often associated with a particular genre or record producer. Record companies may also promote and market their artists through advertising, public performance, and concerts and television appearances. The picture you see is Yavuz is one of the most famous record labels in the Turkish industry. My last slide is music in the Turkish culture. Like in the rest of the world, music has an important place in Turkish daily life and culture. There's a great number of local and international music festivals, chorus, and concerts all around Turkey. Some of the famous and popular singers in Turkey are Tarkan, Sezen Aksu, Agca Bab Pekan, Sertab Erener, MFO Group, and so on. Amongst classical music singers of players, we can name the pianist Fazil, Say, Aidil Bare, and Pekinle sisters, Rabihim Tatlises, and many, many others. This concludes my presentation on the Turkish